we're sticking to those temperatures. We take a look at our weather wall right there. Yes, it's 68 in Kalamazoo right now. It's flipping between an older temperature there, but I mean, kind of a nice start today, but gosh, you know, the tides are going to turn with, sounds like a chance for some strong to severe storms and then hot.
Yeah, I'm glad you just mentioned that. In fact, we have breaking weather news and information right now. The Storm Prediction Center has just taken us to the next level.
Okay.
So now there's a marginal level. That's the lowest threat. We were in a slight risk. Now we've been put into an enhanced risk.
Okay.
That's the very latest. I've updated that online, and we're going to go through that right now. That's the primary concern, will be the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms later this afternoon and into the evening hours. Maybe some 75 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. We don't have anything on radar right now, but that's part one. Part one would be the possibility of the strong to severe storms, and then part two would be, of course, the heat and all the humidity that Tessa was just referring to for tomorrow and Wednesday. These are the storms. They are forming right now. We think there may be a line of storms, a squall line that will form, and then behind that, you got very strong environmental winds that will push that out into what we call an apex or a squall line, and that's what may contain some 75 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. It's not a for sure thing, but since the Storm Prediction Center down in Norma, Oklahoma does this for a living, that's all they do is concern themselves with the possibility of severe weather around the country. And now that they're elevating us into an enhanced risk, they're probably thinking the same thing. But you're covered. We've been talking about that since 4:30 this morning, and it's all over our pages on Facebook and on at fox17online.com. That story's already updated. So here's our current temperatures that get you out the door this morning. We're in the low to mid 60s, even upper 60s. Going to be a beautiful start to the day. Mostly sunny skies, but that will change as we get into the afternoon hours. The clouds will thicken up. We'll make about the mid 80s, and by the time we get into the mid to late afternoon hours and then going into the evening hours, we may see some of those strong thunderstorms coming across the area. Here is the very latest outlook right now. It's this orange area, that hatched in area that was just added. This is where we have the best chance for the 75 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. To a lesser degree, there could be an isolated tornado in these areas as well. It would be a brief, weak spin up, but straight line winds can do just as much or more damage than a weak tornado. So that's what we're watching. If you're from Grand Rapids up to the north, that's a slight risk. So you can see that number 3 category, then number 2, then a marginal threat. So the threat goes down as you get further to the north. This is what we're thinking. Without question, the number 1 threat here, 75 to 80 mile per hour straight line damaging winds are possible. Hail up to about 1.5 inches in diameter, and maybe an isolated tornado in those areas where I just mentioned. You can get more if you go to fox17online.com. Let me just leave you with this thought. Make sure to download the Fox 17 weather app so that you can stay weather aware, and you can have the watches, warnings, and advisories in your hand. You can check radar throughout the day, and we can connect and keep you safe. I'll have one more look at the 7-day forecast coming up towards the end of the show at about 8:56. Now, here's Rob with traffic.